Hello everyone, welcome back to the Red Zone. I'm Zane Smith, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over bunker shots. Okay, so we're going to go over and recap the things that we worked on in our bunker shot lesson. So whenever I'm hitting a bunker shot, there's a few things that I have to understand. Number one, it's not going to be extremely different from any other shot that you make. I mean, we're still using the same body motions, we're still using the same pivot and the same turn. We're not trying to use a ton more wrist, okay? What we're ultimately trying to do here is to hit a consistent shot that's out of the bunker, that's close to our general target, okay? A couple strategy things to keep in mind. If I've got a pin like this on the edge of the green, I'm probably going to want to aim more toward the center of the green, right? Because my goal here is to make sure that I'm putting. I want to make sure that I'm on the green and putting so that I can knock this in the fewest amount of strokes possible. Okay. As far as technique and setup goes, we're going to go into that right now. So whenever I'm setting up in a bunker shot, one thing I've got to understand is that I'm no longer going to be hitting the ball first, right? That's the main difference between a bunker shot and a normal full shot. So I'm not going to be hitting the ball first. I am going to be taking a rather large swing. Reason is because I'm not hitting the ball first, I'm hitting the sand, so that sand is going to slow that impact down, that club down, okay? It's also causing friction and getting in between the ball and the club face, all right? So then what's actually going to hit the ball and carry onto the green is the sand. The sand's going to act almost like a basket carrying that ball onto the putting surface. So whenever I'm setting up, I have to do a few things to make sure that that is as consistent as it can be. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that ball position. That's number one, is changing that ball position. The ball position with a pitch would be more in the middle of our stance, right? It'd be more in the middle of our setup. Again, you might favor a little toward the back, a little toward the front, right? But on a sand shot, because I'm hitting the sand first and not hitting the ball first, that ball is going to move forward. How much do you ask? I'm going to put that ball where that ball would normally be placed with a pitch. That's going to be the middle of my stance. Okay, so that's the sand, that spot that I'm going to hit is going to be where the ball would normally be if I was on a grassy area. So that ball is about 1.5 inches in front of where I would normally be. Okay, so I'm going to set up. I'm going to try and get that spot there in the middle of my stance. And now, because I have that spot kind of drawn out for me, now I just have to make that same swing as if I'm trying to hit a flop shot. Okay, and the ball is where that dot is. So I'm going to try and make a big swing, and I'm going to try and hit that part of the sand first, and then that's what's going to cause that ball to get up and onto the green. There's a couple more things to keep in mind. One is that I want this ball to fly high, right? Most bunkers have lips, so I've got to make sure this ball gets up in the air. The way that I'm going to ensure that I do that is I'm going to try and open that face up a little bit. Okay, so I don't need to lay it flat, right? If I lay it flat, I could leave this ball in the bunker or scull it into the lip itself. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to open it up a few degrees. And because I open it up a few degrees, I also have to sit the handle lower. Okay, the reason this is because if I set it up normal and open it, the ball would go off to the right. So I have to set those hands lower to make that ball go straight. Okay, so the hands are going to go lower. That ball positions a slightly forward from the middle. I'm going to dig my heels in so that I don't shift in the sand whenever I turn, because it is going to be a rather large swing. All right, I'm going to get a wider setup just to make sure I have maximum stability. And then I'm going to do something with my weight. I'm going to do the same thing as a pitch. I'm going to place that weight on the left side. Okay, place it on the left side, and then it just becomes a pitch turn. Now I'm going to turn back and turn through the same as I would as if it were a pitch shot. Okay, a couple things to keep in mind whenever I'm swinging and hitting the sand. Make sure you don't slow down once you hit the sand. Okay, I don't need to accelerate super rapidly, but I want to make sure I follow through. What a lot of people will do is they'll hit the sand and they'll stop right there, or they'll slow down as they're approaching the sand. Right? I want to make sure I hit this thing with a little bit of explosion here. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. So I'm aiming at that spot on the ground, and for practice, I'm doing that. I can't do that in a real, if I'm playing for real. And I'm just going to take a big old swing, hit right there, ends up pretty good. Okay, and the closer you hit to the actual ball, the further it's going to go, and the more spin you're probably going to have with it. So if I want to take a shorter swing, let's say I constantly hit it too far, making that same move, but it feels good, then what I'm going to do, oh, hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hit a little closer to the ball than I did and take a little bit of a shorter swing. Okay, so I'm going to hit right there instead, a little closer to the ball, a little shorter swing. Let's see what happens. Oh, a little too thin. Let's try it one more time. A little closer to the ball, right here. Okay, and that's just for practice purposes. I can't do that in a real match. And I'm just going to take a nice short swing here. There we go. Oh, that had a lot more spin. Okay, just off the back. All right. So make sure that whenever you're doing this, you're setting up correctly, right? We're making sure we get that ball in the right setup. We're making sure that face is open so we can get that ball launched high, and make sure that we're hitting that same part of the ground. And that's key with the weight shift too. If I'm shifting that weight, that's going to change where I'm hitting the ground on my sand shots. So let's do one more, okay? One more time. I'm going to set up, make sure the ball's slightly forward. This one I'm going to take a big swing again because I'm better at those. And I'm going to open up the club face, lower the hands, and hit. Pretty good. I like that one. And you'll notice that one I am slightly to the right, and that's going to end up better because that's the way the green is going. The pin's kind of sucked in there into the side of the green. So I want to try aiming right, just like I said before with our strategy point. So hopefully this helps you guys. Thank you guys for enjoying the Red Zone. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.